What's going on? This is GameWithSki, and I'm about to show you my endgame build for my dual Ungils elemental hit Ascendant slash Scion. This build should get us through red maps, I think. And I'm gonna go over everything that I used for the upgrades. I'm going to, for those of you who just want the path of builder, that will be down in the description below. But I'm going to go over the new skill tree, our new items, and what I specifically looked for and how much I paid for those items. And the new gems that I kind of slotted in. The Pantheon, my flasks that I'm using, and then my atlas, and then I'll take us over to the path of builder to show you the actual damage. If we just go through here, and if I press a bunch of buttons that I don't know what I'm pressing, our tooltip damage is 146,000 damage per second. That's with nothing. But it's a lot more than that. I think the Path of Builder has us about, like, almost 800k lightning DPS. But it's more than that, because I'll explain that below. But we're doing really good damage. And I'm also going to ask for help to help me take this build to min-max it to the next level. So this is the high-end map level, but I do want to take this even further, and it can be taken even further. The Ascendancy Tree has not changed. We are still going down to the Gladiator, and we're still going to the Elementalist. I still haven't found in all those trials yet, so I haven't been able to go further, but I think what we'll do is just get the 2 extra passive points when we do those trials. So we'll get 2 points. We'll get 1, 2 passive points. Here's what I went with. I replaced this jewel here with Immutable Force, Crimson Jewel. This was about 20 chaos. And I think it's very important because I noticed that I was getting, I think, stunned. And I could also be getting chilled. So we need to work on that too. But this pretty much prevents us from getting stunned. Now we still get stunned, but I think this is what I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this drops us down to about a 2-frame stun, which in the scheme of things is pretty much nothing. So please correct me if I'm wrong on that, but this should get us down to a 2-frame stun. And we get a ton of resists here. And then we go over here. And we just get this life here. We get life. And we could get this life here too. I never got that one. But we don't need any more of these mastery points. Please let me know if you think we should and why we should get more of these life masteries. But right now I don't believe we should. We need every point that we can get. Next thing I have here is this these attack speed nodes and +5 to maximum rage. I think that's really helps us do more damage. And then we have this non-veil skills, strike target 1 additional nearby enemies. So this is huge, I think, because we are getting massive overlapping damage with this, and this is what I believe the Path of Builder, I'm not sure if they take this into account as far as how much damage we're doing, because if I draw a little picture here, so if we have as long as we have 2 enemies nearby, we're doing like 4 times the amount of damage, because we get an elemental hit. Well, I'll explain that later, but just right now, this is like a free ancestral call. I'll explain it more in a little bit. And then we go down here and we have another jewel here, and I believe this is like a almost like a best in slot type of jewel here. One thing that I could get that I might like instead of the energy shield per enemy hit with attacks is maybe a 2 mana. If you don't have energy shield, I think that would probably be better. I thought I was going to go the energy shieldless route on this because I didn't know that this jewel existed. Because I was using energy shield to kind of help mitigate stun chance, but since we mitigate so much stun, I think it might be better to go with mana. And because the mana, what the mana on hit would help us do is help us maintain our tincture without getting us mana burn so hard. So I think the energy shield per hit, enemy hit with attack, should be replaced with mana. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think on that. So I'm probably going to be in the market for the replacement to this jewel. I'm going to go to the right side of the tree first. We go up here to get the finesse, and then these two nodes here. Now, previously, I had this node, and then these two nodes. I had this node because of the avoiding stun, but we don't really need stun so much. So I might even be considering just taking this point and undoing these two nodes and saving another node here. So we'd save like 3 nodes there. We'll see. I'm going to keep it the way I have it for now, but that's just things that I'm kind of thinking about changing later. And you can see I spec'd here that's suppressed, and then I have this attack speed node here and melee strike range. I think that's just a pretty good node. It's only 1 over from there. And then we have suppressed spell damage. Here, a change here that I made is I got this intuitive leap. And then I spec'd into herbalism and acuity. And I undid these nodes here. And I undid these nodes here. Because we don't really need any more resists. We got a lot of new resists on our gear. You definitely want to try to cover all the resists on your gear. And I spec this aspect of the links. It's just a huge amount of damage. You get move speed and you get crit chance for attacks. This acuity. Oh yeah, I already talked about that. I have these crit nodes, and by golly, I forgot to spec this crit thing here. I'm not sure if I should take this or not. This critical mastery. Let me know what you think if I should. Everything else here is the same. We got this suppression. And we have suppress is lucky. I was kind of like this node here, but I just needed to save every single node for damage. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's just like this is the best way to go to save 3 points, really. And I kind of went up here, and I still have this Clever Thief with 10% leeches instant. I think that's just huge. With these life nodes here, and we could maybe unspec this if we need to, that 6% life. But I left it. And we have these accuracy and crit. And I have accuracy at close range. I believe that's the best one. That's within close range is 4 meters. Which is pretty big. If we go down through this way now, all of this area here is the same. We got the dual wield. Just these nodes are just incredible. attack speed, ignore movement penalties, 20 dexterity. Here we're getting this life and armor. Master of the Arena. And we go down here, and you can see I unspec'd these fortify nodes here because they don't really do much for you. Like, it's just melee hits with which stun have 10% chance to fortify. You don't get any more fortification. We automatically get fortify with the node here, and here we get more fortification. I think this is more important. Getting the more fortification. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more, 6% increased fortify that way. And I unspec'd this node before I spec'd into here and went down to just get to grab these nodes quick. But it's better, I believe, now to go left and down. And here's where it gets pretty awesome that I don't know if many people thought of this before. But we got these attack masteries here. Melee damage, melee strike range. But this here is what's really... This is the kicker. This is what makes the build. Now, speccing this makes it the DPS look a little less on Path of Builder, but I assure you this doubles your DPS. This will double your DPS, and I'll show you why. And the Path of Builder does not show that. But maybe I should draw a little... Maybe I should... I'm going to pause it here, draw a little picture, and show you what I mean between the two things. I'm going to draw a picture on paper. Let's stop this. If you go on the wiki, you can kind of see how elemental hit works. And I drew a little picture corresponding to it. This is you. And this is your ancestral call. You're going to hit. You're hitting enemy 1. And this is all happens simultaneously, all on the same frame. It is insane, okay? And I'm going to show you in the slow motion. As you can see in the slow motion, the ancestral call hits the same time you hit one. And then the splash damage you deal from the same hits hits all those enemies. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, okay? And then E7 and E2 are also taking the same initial splash damage hit. So E1, E7, and E2 are all hit twice from the initial hit, okay? But E4, E7, E2, E3, or not E3, and E5, all those ones filled in, they all get a secondary attack. And you can see I drew little red circles around like corresponding kind of like a visual reference of the second AoE attack. So we're getting, let's just count those circles. That's how many additional AoE attacks that we're getting in one attack. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more attacks. So it's kind of hard to quantify how many attacks are actually hitting the enemies, but you're at least getting 2 or 3 overlaps. I'm gonna sneeze. Possibly more. But it's got some weird mechanic where the monster that you initially hit cannot be hit by that overlap. But the thing is the monster next to it can. And the monster next to that can. So we're getting these massive overlap splash damages that are not in the Path of Builder. We're doing way more damage than what it's showing. And we'll show you the slow motion. And you could see that when I hit the enemies, they all just explode in one hit. Because I'm getting like 6 hits on them. Okay, I'm back here on the skill tree. And you see Tribal Fury. Melee strike skills deal splash damage to surrounding targets. That is why you don't really show it. It doesn't show it on the Path to Builder. But you are getting an insane... It feels like night and day, like you're playing a whole nother character. You're like quadrupling the damage. It's like you're quadrupling the damage that you do. It's insane. With these two areas here, with Elemental Hit, because of the nature of the skill. This would also work with like skills like Lightning Strike as well. Melee area of effect. So now this really helps increase that splash damage. So that splash damage that we do has like a base of 14 units range. That's about the height of your character laying down. Okay, but wow, we can increase that. Or the height of your character laying down in one direction, but it's a circle around you. So that's the radius, is one character. Two enemies standing next, 2 or 3 enemies standing next to each other. But now we get 20, 30, 40% range increase of that. So about 3 characters standing next to each other, if they're bunched up, that's the range in one direction. 3 characters standing butt to crotch. So that's enough of me talking about that, and that's the big deal about this and why it feels like it works so much better than the damage that we're currently doing. Single target, yeah, the damage is a lot lower. It's about half of that. Get about half damage with single target. But that's what the Path to Builder is showing you. The Path to Builder is showing you single target damage. If we have a cluster of mobs, we're doing like 5 mobs. We are doing insane damage per second. All right, well, I'll cover this. We move over this way, and we get these. I really like this node here. This is another big thing. Why I went all the way back over here. We get resists and evasion and armor, but right here, if equipped helmet has higher evasion rating than armor, we are immune to poison. I died to poison a few times, and I was like, I am never dying to poison again. And that's how you do it, is by having an evasion helmet with this node, and boom, you no longer ever have to fear poison. I don't think bleeding is as bad, because you can mitigate bleeding with a, right here, immune to bleeding flask. There is no immune to, I don't think there's an immune to poison flask, so that completely negates any kind of poison worries that we have just by that one node there. Extremely important that we get that. Here's the life nodes here, and this is where I get that plus 30 to max life. It's a shame that they nerfed it. I had a feeling they would, because plus 50 is just totally OP. And here we get the rage. I think rage is just so OP. And on this one I went with nearby enemies are intimidated while you have rage. Well, what is intimidation? Well, it means that the enemy takes increased damage, so that acts as another more multiplier of damage. So after all damage has been done to the enemy, then it calculates the that more damage then. So it's like the damage on top of that, and it's like 8% or something, but it's still, I mean, that's significant. 8% more. It's significant. And right here, enemies near your banner take 8% increased damage. So that stacks with this. So all types of enemies taking increased damage, I believe it's their own more multiplier. So that would be like almost 20% increased damage. As long as we got that banner down, and our banner should be mostly, it's kind of like placing it and removing it, placing, removing it, placing, removing it. It's no big deal. And that's why I got this banner. All these banner nodes. I may or may not get rid of them. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about these nodes. But it's only 4 nodes to get that. Near enemies near your banner take 8% increased damage. So it's significant. It's a more multiplier. Okay, we went up, got the fortify, and then we got this life here. And I thought there was a rage somewhere here. Oh, there is rage here. I'm thinking about, once I get enough points, a few more points, I plan on going up here and speccing into these rage nodes here to get more rage. This will give us 1, 2, oh, whoa, holy crap, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 7. 16% more damage just by the nodes. Holy mackerel. So once we have enough points, we're going to go and get these nodes here, and that's just more. That's our skill tree. We're going to talk about my gear now and what I switched out. If you haven't watched any previous videos, this is a dual Ungil's elemental hit build with the Scion. We're using Ungil's gouges, and we're doing millions of damage per second. The first item order of business is, well, I think the most expensive item that you're going to get is this amulet. I did not change my amulet because from the last build, but it's important to show what we have. We want life on the amulet. We like the Onyx amulet, but we also would like just something to give us some intelligence, okay? But we prefer all attributes because strength is, we want dexterity, strength, and we need all 3 nodes. But anyways, we want life, elemental resistances as much as you can get, and then you see how it has +1 to level of all cold skill gems? We can have a cold, lightning, or fire in there. And then plus 23% increased elemental damage with attack skills. The last thing that we want, and probably the most expensive, would be the +1 to all gems, which that would apply to our elemental hit. You can see our elemental hit is level 24. I think I might save this exalt though, because the odds of getting what that node is very, very slim. So it's not worth it for me to exalt it. Maybe at the end when I have spares. The ring! Same thing with the rings. We're looking for chaos resists, elemental resists to get our max resists. Here I put intelligence on it because I need intelligence, and we want that elemental damage with attack skills. Oh yeah, so this amulet I paid 20 chaos for. This ring I paid 100 chaos for. It's very hard. What I really wanted to search was a ton of life. I searched for like over 65% all resists. I wanted 30% chaos resist. And then I wanted at least 38% increased elemental damage with attack skills. And here we have increased lightning damage on the ring. And then I crafted increased intelligence on there because I'm hurting for intelligence with our increased critical damage support gem. This ring is the same thing. I think I may have paid 50 chaos for, but we paid 50 chaos for this ring. No. I think I paid 100 chaos for this ring as well. Somewhere between 50 and 100 is what I paid of chaos. And again, I was looking for life, which this one didn't have life. Looks like we crafted life on there. I was looking for life, chaos resist, all resists, and increased elemental damage with attacks again. I think the next things that we would want on here would be crit damage and crit multiplier. Or we need some kind of prefixes. I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out. The next level here. We have the Admiral's Arrogance Gauntlets. Again, this is probably best in slot because of the +3 to level of all melee skill gems. That is just incredible. That just increases our elemental hit flat damage. The elemental hit flat damage is like, look at that, 172 to 1339. It's like, what is that? 1500 flat fire damage. Yeah, 1500 flat fire damage per hit on a one-handed weapon. Insane. All right, boots. I believe I made a mistake here. So I talked about the energy shield earlier for boots, but what we want for the boots is I paid about 50 chaos for these. We want 30% move speed or higher. I think it goes to 35. We want move speed. We want over 30 chaos resist. And then we want lots of elemental resists. And then life. Okay? Those are what you want. And I got lucky. I got 10% chance to avoid bleeding on this boots. But I originally put energy shield. I wanted energy shield because I thought that I wanted to reduce my chances of getting stunned. But one thing it does is the energy shield just gets... It goes down really fast because of the blood rage. But I am leeching it with the energy shield on hit. But I don't think we need that. I don't think we need the energy shield. So that's something I think we can go without because of that stun jewel that we have. Belt, I believe I paid between 50 and 100 chaos for the belt. Let's just say 100 chaos, okay? I know I paid 100 chaos for like 3 items. So the 2 rings and probably the belt and then the boot I paid 50. Okay, so that's 350 and then another 50. Okay, maybe it was 100. No, because I don't think I had that much. It was 100, 100, 50, 50, 50, I believe. But anyways, I don't know. I might have paid 100 for this. I spent a lot. No, you know what? 1, 2. Yeah, it was 300 and 400. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 100, 100, 100 chaos for this one. This one, I was looking for life, chaos resist, other elemental resists, and then increased elemental damage with attack skills. And luckily this belt, this one has increased stun duration on enemies. I think that's pretty useful. I think any type of damage can stun. So that works well. And then I went ahead and crafted 15% increased damage. Our weapons are Ungil's Gouch. Why did I choose Ungil's Gouches? Because of they have great attack speed. Probably one of the highest levels of crit chance because they have insane crit chance. And then I think I already said the insane block chance. So these two weapons give us practically max blocking. Chill attackers for 4 seconds on block. Shock attackers for 4 seconds on block. Huge. And we have practically max block, alright? I think I went over this. Did I go over this helmet? I don't think I did. I think I paid 50 chaos for this helmet, okay? The first thing I wanted was accuracy. We need a lot of accuracy so we don't have to grab too many accuracy nodes. We want a 100% chance to hit. So we got 480 accuracy. We got... It's got evasion rating on there, but I wasn't really looking for too much evasion. I was looking for accuracy, life, 30 chaos resist, and then any type of other resist. And then it had evasion on there, so once those qualifications are met, I look for the item that best suits me, what I want, which I guess there wasn't really much more I can get on here, so I just looked for one that really stacked a lot of evasion to help avoid being hit. So I went with increased evasion. Now we wanted an evasion helmet, so make sure you go for the highest evasion within your price range of 50 chaos. Flasks. I'm using these flasks because we need to keep our mana up for, one, resummoning our golems and to keep our tincture going. So we leech a ton. I'm not having a problem staying at full life. We have so much block and stuff. So we're using the hybrid flasks. Okay, one flask you want immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood. And the next flask you want an instant flask, and this one is immunity to freeze and chill, instant recovery. So you want this one to be instant recovery, and then you want immune to freeze and chill, because you won't get frozen or chilled. You just hit that flask. The next flask I have is a crit chance. This one I have Onslaught for faster speed. And here I did go back to Tinctures just because they do so much more damage. And this one is increased elemental damage with weapons and also crit multiplier on there. I think I need to find a better Tincture. I'm not sure how to get a better one, but maybe I should look to see what kind of elemental damage with melee weapon tinctures we've got going on. Because I've seen them up to like, I've seen somebody had like a 200% or something. I don't know. Someone had some insane damage one. I don't know. I never seen one. Oh, I never went over my armor, okay? We definitely want, if you're switching out the helm, remember we had Honor Home before, we want to get a 6-link. If you don't have a 6-link, you need to keep Honor Home and the previous build, but we switched to a 6-link here. And again, this is one that I got super lucky and I found dropped myself. And we want life resists. And I got so lucky I got suppressed spell damage on this, so I'm probably going to keep this for a while until I find something really, really, really awesome. But yeah, just life and resists and spell suppression. I mean, I got insanely lucky on. Now we're gonna go over the gems that I'm using. Elemental hit, elemental damage with attacks. If you could get an awakened, that's even better. Multi-strike. Nightblade. It's only level 17, so I'm still in the process of leveling these. Ruthless. Still leveling it, and increased critical damage, and I am still leveling it. So those are, I think that's the best in slot. If you can get an Awakened Empower, I think that beats out increased critical damage by quite a bit. We're using cast when damage taken, Hydrosphere, Elemental Weakness, and Galvanic Field. Why Galvanic Field? Well, it gives you a 20% chance to shock enemies. That's why. We want to shock them. Here, Elemental Weakness, well, to lower their elemental resistances. Hydrosphere, this also gives them, allows us to chill and shock. Oh, they give exposure. It inflicts exposure on the enemies. None of these physical damage conversion things are working, but drenched enemies have cold and lightning exposure, applying an additional minus 10% to resistances. So that's, we're getting some exposure there. Oh, here, we're doing Summon Ice Golem, faster attacks. Summon Lightning Golem, and Blind. We're doing these because we want to help increase the survivability of our minions. And I guess we could go with minion life. But I'm trying the route of the faster attacks and blind, but it might be better to go with minion life. Or something to increase the levels so the minions stop dying. But we're using the Ice Golem because it gives us crit chance and accuracy. And we're using the Lightning Golem because it gives us 9% increased attack and cast speed. So it just buffs us so that we can kill faster as long as those golems are up. That's why we have them. And if we're lucky, they blind as well. It's just a little bonus. Let me know what you think we should put in there instead. If we should put minion life and something else in there, let me know what you think about that. Definitely open to ideas. Here's one of our movement skills, Whirling Blades, faster attacks, and then I put Enduring Cry here. I like Whirling Blades with faster attacks. Just lets us zoom around the screen super fast. Enduring Cry, well, there's not much, there's nothing really to support that with. I don't think, we don't got any more room. Here's our auras, Flesh and Stone. Frost Blink, our second movement skill to help us get over cliffs and stuff. And then Haste, which is Veil Haste. And here's our automation. We're using automation with Blood Rage, Defiance Banner, and Steel Skin. So Steel Skin is another aura. Or no, it's not. Steel Skin is a guard skill. We're just letting it go off and on and hope we get lucky while it's on. And that is all our skills. Alright, we're going to switch over to the Path of Builder here. And I'm just going to show you. Oh, I have no major god or minor god selected. Let me select those and I'll be right back here. Alright, I checked out the, whatever. I guess major god would be Soul of Lunaris, and minor god would be, I guess, Soul of Gruthkul. I guess these would change depending on your situation, but these are pretty good. Yeah. Alright. And our effective hit pool is 46,000. 136. And here's how I know that this doesn't really take into account number of nearby enemies that you're hitting. Because as you can see, let's go with our lightning attack. Hit DPS, 909,000. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? And right here, I have enemies in your presence duration. All right, so we have it based off of 3 seconds, all flasks active. Number of nearby enemies, 1. So that's if we have 1 nearby enemy, 909,000. But if I have 3 enemies, it only goes up to 942. That's how I know that this is wrong. We can easily double that. You take that and double it. So, because of what I showed you, the enemies, everything is being hit twice. As long as there's 2 enemies nearby. Now, if there's 1 enemy, you're only hitting once. But if there's 3 enemies, they're getting... It's splashing. Okay, it's no problem. Oh, yeah. Those guys, it took longer. Tormented spirit. Moly? They all just exploded. See if he buys it. Yep. Valerium. V-A-L-Y. Oh, something. Bunch of stuff leveled up. Those are all my elemental hits that I'm gonna have to once they get to level 20, I'm gonna have to quality them and try to get a level 21 elemental hit. Dual Corrupta, maybe? Yeah, it appears I've been doing maps the wrong way. I should have been just going up instead of staying at a certain tier and just doing the map drop. Oh my. Okay, we got. Oh, he's not dead. Reign of Nishi. Okay, he got it from somebody else. Crafting recipe. The eye pecker. I thought it said the one-eyed pecker. That's how my mind works. What I see in the reality is two completely different things. Okay, what are we doing next? Did I do it? Oh yeah, 2 Atlas points available. Some roaches. Oh, here we go. Don't know what the stats are, but doing good. Oh my. As long as he's in our presence, he will continue to take more damage. We can't get through. How do they get shields that big anyways? To get them there. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. that the boss? Are these the bosses? Corpse burner. Ah. Yeah, I was doing a lot of burning of the corpses. Oh, it just ends there. Didn't see that on the mini-map. I'm gonna almost need like the map, a map tab. Got so much.